Hey guys, Ben from the Weekend Wars here, and today I'm going to be walking you through how to make a really simple but really effective gaming table. So I'm going to be using a 4x4 board today, but of course this can be extended up to a 6x4 or an 8x4 and even an 8x10 if you really wanted to. So hopefully these little tips and tricks will give you exactly what you're after. So the first thing we need to do is lay down our mat. So this is a battle mat from Game Mat EU, and as you can tell, it's double-sided. So one side is like a snowy kind of effect, and the other side is like a rocky outcrop, which is what we're going to be using today. So the kind of theme that I want to go for this board is kind of like an imperial outpost, but it's also kind of like in the forest. So it's been overgrown perhaps, maybe an old power station. So first I'm just laying down this initial foliage. So all this actually is just dried out wood. Both myself and my brother happen to own reptiles at one point. And so this sort of stuff you kind of need for keeping reptiles. So we had a lot of it laying around, but honestly you can just find any bit of old bark or wood or anything like that and it will work just the same. In terms of the actual foliage itself, these are literally just aquatic fish plants. So you know the kind of plastic plants that you can get for fish tanks? That's all it is. So next we're moving on to sort of what I call filler terrain. So this is things like your walls. In this case we've got some cargo containers, a little power generator and anything like that. So these are all Games Workshop terrain. They came with the Conquest package that they did a little while back, and we haven't even got around to painting them. So that's definitely something that we need to be doing. But the point is they still work really well even without the paint. So something that you'll notice in this board in particular is that I have stuck to greens, browns, and those kind of more earthy colours because it really does add to that rocky outcrop feel that we're going for. So now the basics of our board are complete, all we're actually going to start doing is filling in the gaps. So this is a really optional step. Personally, I love to do it because I think it's the difference between a really interactive board and a standard board. And all we're doing is little bits of scatter terrain. So these are little tiny barrels and boxes and things like that. And they just add a little bit of personality to the board really, because if you were on a battlefield, you're not just going to see certain things. There will be like these little cargo dumps, little ammunition port, anything like that. And it really just helps to bring the board to life. This final step is probably the biggest learning that you can possibly take away from this video, and that is to use slate. So I use slate on near enough every single board that I do. So if you think about an actual rocky outcrop, the thing that gives it that texture is loads of different size stones all mashed together essentially. So that is literally all we're doing here. So all of these bits of slate have been smashed up with a hammer. So you've got loads of different sizes, none of them the same, anything like that. And we are literally just sprinkling them over the board. So it almost wants to have a kind of imperfect effect. I literally just pick up a bit and then give it a little throw. There we have it. That is pretty much it. So as soon as you put some miniatures on the board, you'll realize that this suddenly becomes a really story-filled board. It's not just, okay, you put your guys over there, I'll put mine over here. It's these two factions who are fighting over this imperial outpost. Perhaps there's a power source or a relic or something like that, and both sides need to get it. So I hope you guys have learned something new today. In my personal opinion, a good board is the difference between table hammer and warhammer. So I really hope that you've enjoyed this video. Feel free to follow us on any of our socials if you fancy it, and I will see you all very soon. See you later.